The agenda really today is actually to introduce you to also what we're calling PMI, who PMI Kenya is, and also talk about the new construction certification. It is kind of like a launch. We want to make it with all the stakeholders that are here. This is actually we've been having a couple of these sessions. We had one yesterday. Today's the last one that we're having. And so what I want to start off with is maybe just get level setting everybody about PMI Kenya, right? So if you give me just a few minutes, then I'll talk to you a little bit. I'll just introduce about who we are, what we do, and why you're here, and what we're all about, rather. So the PMI Kenya chapter, we are a professional association. We are of over 800 members, and the members are all professional, experienced project, program, and portfolio management practitioners. We are a local chapter of the Global Project Management Institute, and this is the world's, this is the one that we call PMI Global, which has over 650,000 members, and they are also practitioners and professionals in the same industry. The vision for PMI Kenya is to entrench a project management as a national competence, and so a lot of the work that we do is what you see down there. We empower the members so that they can understand what project management is about, and that we give them skills through learning and development. And actually, this is one such session where we are having certifications where you get to understand how can you be a better project manager, how can you elevate your careers, your skills, your competence. And if you decide that actually you're in one area and you want to change to project management, this is some of the things that we also empower you to understand, so that you can decide to make those kind of career decisions. We also promote project management. This is, and the way we do it is actually by talking about it. Even today's conversation is, we're talking about project management. In Kenya, the maturity level of project management is steadily rising. In the beginning, actually, when we started as a charter, PMI Kenya in 2012, we didn't find very many people who had a lot of information about project management. Yet this is a skill that is actually global, and you'll find it a lot, especially in the developed regions. Why don't we have it here? And this is why we are here talking about it, so that you can understand what the benefits are of shared delivery and of understanding about a methodology that actually is going to get you to the finish line with a few more, with less errors and with a bit more assurance. And this is what project management is about. We also want the entrenchment goal is where we're saying, actually, if you look at most of the other economies, the developed economies, they're projectized economies, which means that everything that they do is projects. And the way that they deliver is through projects. All the initiatives, the businesses, they deliver through projects. And so for us to be able to entrench this as a national competence, people need to understand what the value is of project management. And so that entrenchment is what we're saying. We want to entrench project management as a national competence and a valuable profession in Kenya, so that you can see the kind of delivery that it has in business. These are just some statistics. The PMI was founded in 1969. It's a world's leading association for project management. As you can see, there are almost 700,000 members. And you can see that even though there are about 700,000 members, we've got about 1.6 million who are certified. You don't have to be a member of PMI so that you can get the certification, but it will benefit you greatly if you're a member of PMI, because you get access to vast resources that maybe we can have a conversation about that, especially the membership team that's here. But the bulk of the certifications that you can see there, 1.2 of those certifications are in PMP. The PMP is a global standard. It's the certification that is the most well-known. And what it means, or what it designates you as somebody who has the knowledge to run, who understands how to run project management. And because the certifications are all, we've got about 17 certifications actually in PMI. And when we add in the PMI-CP, I think it's now number 18. But again, it just depends on where you're coming from, because if you decide that you just want to or you want to become a versatile project manager, you'll do the PMP. If you want to do the agile project management, you can do that as well. And then we also have certifications for upcoming people who are just coming into the industry, like the students. Maybe you might not have the qualifications for the PMP, which is a bit more rigorous, but you can come in as a CAPM. And you can see there that we've got about almost 60,000 CAPM certifications globally. So there's a wide range of where you can come in depending on your experience and what you want to do. We are in over 200 countries, 309 chapters. PMI is very much a non-profit organization, and it's run by volunteers. In fact, the people who are in PMI Kenya or PMI, everything that you see that is PMI is actually run by volunteers. And we've got and there are a couple of other global organizations that are also linked. Some of the contributions for the PMI to the profession, there's a lot of research that goes into, they do a lot of research trying to get numbers, evidence-based, science-based, everything that is actually talking about best practice. And in fact, some of the certifications very well linked to a lot of certifications, including the ISO 17024, which is a quality assurance kind of a standard. And so what it is that they're giving an assurance that a lot of what they're doing and a lot of the certifications that they're running are actually based on a particular standard. This is what has created the credibility about the PMI brand. Yeah, and I know that for a fact because even when we had some, when we have organization, when we are linking up with partners, they look at the PMI brand actually, and you find that actually from a strategic perspective, they would much rather work with us. So we have seen it working in very many areas. So from a research, an academic area, they're very strong. In fact, they normally have, as a member, you're eligible for a $50,000 grant. If you're going to do a research that is going to contribute towards project management knowledge. They're advocates for global standards, certifications, and professional development. We have a lot of webinars. As members, you're able to benefit from a lot of the new knowledge that is coming in, networking with other communities in forums like webinars and conferences, expos, seminars, and so on. If you look at where we are in the region and Sub-Saharan Africa, as we're called, or the African continent, we've got about 20 chapters that are pretty much doing the same as what we're doing. So if you go to Tanzania, you'll find, if you go to Rwanda, you'll find a chapter. You'll go to, we even have one in Senegal, we've got in South Africa, and Nigeria, Ghana, a whole bunch of areas, including Mauritius. PMI Kenya is one of the most active and decorated chapters in Kenya. I think we should give ourselves a clap. You should give us guys a clap. But this is a lot of hard work, and also it's because we have a very passionate, member forum. People who really love what project management is all about. And so we talk about it a lot. And what we've done this year is that we have grown, actually from at the beginning, in January, we're about 385 members, 385, and now we're at 800. That just demonstrates the interest that is in project management right now in Kenya. It is becoming cyclical, where people are just hungry for information, and they want to see what is this about, and they have realized that actually it is a competence that is everywhere. It is, the project management is agnostic of any sector, of any industry. You know, wherever you're going to run a project, you're going to run it basically the same way. It depends on what the project is about. Then you can tailor the kind of, some of the processes and methodologies that need to be applied. We have a lot of our membership are volunteers, so they get to also grow from a leadership perspective, do a lot of networking. We have 4 university partnerships. In fact, there are quite a few, but we've got Mount Kenya University, Catholic University of Eastern Africa, Kenyatta University, University of Nairobi, Daystar University. These are some of our strategic partners, and we've been partnering with them so that we can link the education sector to the industry. What we're doing is that we want to equip the students, and I'm really glad to see that we've got quite a wide body of students who are here. And what we want is so that people can understand right from the get-go, when you are already trying to graduate and finding your place, what do you want to do? Where are you finding that you're most tuned in? Where might your passion be sitting? If as a student you identify that as project management, then we've already started creating project management clubs, so that you can go in and talk with people who are like-minded. We're bringing you into the body into PMI Kenya, where you can network, ask questions with people who are more advanced, people who can already talk to you and start leading you and mentoring. And we've actually started a mentoring program, which I think Abdul will probably let us know at some point when he's going to implement that. But we do have that as a way of trying to handhold the people who are coming in and who want to grow their profession in project management. On the side, we have MOUs also with other institutions like NetFund, Ajira, and Ajira is a youth program that is a digital youth program. So FFA, which is the Football Federation, we also have, what are they called? MOUs with Rotary. And what we're trying to do is to target the youth, teach them PM life skills so that even when they start thinking about project management, entrepreneurship, then at least they can be able to carve out their own career. I'm very excited also to talk about the annual project management awards, and you can see some of the banners that are here. How many of you have had in your organizations have done a project or an initiative which you're proud about? Proud of, yeah. You mean the people who have not raised their, they don't have any, yeah? People don't have anything that they've got to be proud about in the organizations. But the reason why I asked that question is because, let me tell you, there is no, there is no formula, yeah, about an initiative that has been well done. Sometimes people say, wait, when they want to go for this award, this excellence award, they think, it has to be shaped in a certain format. It is not. It doesn't have to be. A project management framework, when you're turning ideas into reality, yeah, the way that you run from point A to point B is your framework. That is your methodology, okay? And whether it is formal or informal, and you've managed to get it to the point, to the point that you needed to get it to, that is success. And that is why you need to talk about it, yeah? And the reason why we have got the Project Management Excellence Awards is because we want to embed that culture of excellence in Kenya. And there are a lot of projects that are being run. There are a lot of initiatives that are being delivered, things that are changing other people's lives. Why are you not talking about it and highlighting it? So this is why we've created the Project Management Excellence Awards. Please, if you're in your organization, you've done something that is worth sharing, and you've got somebody who is worth talking about, that project leader who delivered that project from the beginning to the end, please let them be recognized. That's what this Excellence program is about. Finally, we have the PDD. And this is now becoming an annual, it's kind of like a conference that we do every year. It's, this year we're going to do it on the same day as we're going to do the gala. So it's going to be on the 9th. We'll be talking a lot about, it's a learning environment. So if you want to come in and talk about projects, we've got 3 work streams that are going to be running. One is the way of working, business acumen, and the other one is technical project management? Business, okay. Anyway, so we have got 3 work streams that we're running, and if you decide that you want to go in because you want to improve your skills or you want to learn about business acumen from a project perspective, actually you can decide that and you can just go in and choose whichever track you want. It's going to run from 8 to 5. Okay, so encouraging everybody to come in. We also have a lot of active groups that are there. Women in Projects is very close to my heart because I believe that we can build talent in women. So those are some of the forums that we have also in PMI Kenya. What you can see up there is the board. I believe I have a couple of board members that are here, but we've got quite a few people. I think Fred is the director. We have VP of Education here. We've got Barbara, I believe, Barbara is here? Yes, Barbara is here, the VP for Marketing. Koti is our docket lead and events. Dominic, I believe you're here. There you are. He's the director of marketing. We have Zippy, who is in membership. Janet and Ken, who is in communications, and so we really, and Daniel, who is also in communications. So these are all people who are volunteers who are just running some of the operations for the chapter. Some of our membership highlights, and this one I just wanted to show you so that you can see just how diverse some of the credentials are. 64% of our members are credentialed, and out of those, 88 of them are PMP. So that is, but we just recently got one portfolio management credential. That is the first one. In fact, I think there must be maybe 10 or 20 globally. And that is, the portfolio management is where now you're running projects or programs of programs. Yeah, if you understand those. And programs are just projects of projects. So there's a lot of skilling, upskilling in Kenya. Kenya's academic. Yeah, we like reading. So if there's a new certification, which I'm sure is why most of you are here, you want to understand now which other certification is this one. Yeah, so you want to come in and upskill. Yeah, so welcome. I wanted just to kind of touch on project management, the industries, kind of what is happening in Kenya and why are we keeping talking about what is the future of project management here. When you look at globally, and I mentioned that globally, actually, most economies are projectized. If you look at a country like Germany, 41% of their GDP goes to projects. In fact, for them, they are basically projectized. If you look like at organizations like IBM, they are 100% projectized. All their roles are in projects. If you're not in a project, then there is no role for you in the organization. That is where most organizations are going. That's where most businesses are going. And so globally, project managers are consistently seen as an important contributor to business strategy. They know for a fact, most organizations globally understand that actually without the project management, without the project manager or the project leader, or that role in project management, there is no way that they're going to be able to deliver on their strategy. Yeah. And some of the project-intensive sectors, as you can see there, they're in manufacturing, in business services, they're in finance, insurance, oil and gas, information, a broad spectrum of areas where project management is highly used. The number of 88 million, ladies and gentlemen, that's the number of project management roles that are going to be required by 2027. That means that actually the demand for project management, it's going to be growing. It's not going less, it's just going higher. So if you have the skill of project management, even as a quantity surveyor, even as an architect, even as a civil engineer or whatever engineer that you are, and you have an element of project management, you've just made yourself more marketable. And that means that you can run the project either as a technical person in your domain, as an architect, or you can run it as a project manager. So they'll be looking for that skill. If you look at some of the job roles now in Kenya, more and more you're seeing that you must have project management skills or the certification of PMP or Prince 2 or something which is similar, because there are other, there are other project management organizations globally. So, but the most recognized one is that one that you can see, which is the PMP. So what is happening in Kenya? In Kenya, we are steadily, in fact, the interest has just, it is heightened, it has become heightened where we are now beginning to recognize that project management is important to delivery of business strategy. And because of that, we are beginning to see more and more. In fact, in the education sector, University of Nairobi actually is the only university globally that is offering project management from a certification level, diploma, all the way to PhD. Only university in globally. Yeah, because most of the other universities, what they do is that they either offer the diploma, or they do the undergrad, or they do the masters, or they do the PhD. But you'll never find all of them doing, all levels. And then in Kenya, that is a testament that actually there's a lot of work that is going into project management, a lot of information about project management. So anybody now can go, either you get a diploma, you can go get your PhD or your degree in project management, right? And what we are lacking, and you can see that the intensive project management is intense in pretty much the same sectors. What we are lacking actually is the data about how many project managers there are. What is the project management information that is in Kenya? So we are doing a lot of guesswork. But if we look at it from a perspective of how many people we have registered or how many people have shown interest in Kenya, there are about 4,000. And for us, we're only at 800, which is about what? Maybe 20%? Maybe about 20% that we have got. And so we are hoping that through the, bringing in more and more people into the profession, we'll be able to build the profession of project management through PMI Kenya, actually as a very strong profession that is going to be recognized. If you look down there, you can see the kind of industries that form the portfolio of industries of our members. You can see we have agriculture, the built environment, we have consultancy, education, engineering, finance, insurance, and fintech. We have health, ICT. We've got a lot of NGOs. Yeah, so everybody, it doesn't really matter. It's just like how we said project management is agnostic to the industry. I've talked about this, about nominating your organizations for excellence. The last one that I wanted just to share with you is the PMI Africa Conference. Now, we were very excited last year. We did, every year there's an annual Africa Conference that is held in one of the regions in Africa. This year we had it in Lagos. And so in Lagos, they told us, hey, you know what? The next year we are hosting the conference in Kenya. So you can see we were all up there with our shukas and everything. Big dance with Sauti Sol. And so we really owned that space. And let me tell you, this conference which is coming up, which is going to be next year, September 10th to 12th, please, you can even put that on your calendar so that you don't travel. Just be here so that you can just have 2 days of some fabulous, project management stuff. We're going to talk about project management. We're going to live in it. We're going to sing with it. But the important thing is that it is going to elevate that conversation about project management in Kenya. You'll get a lot of perspectives. It's actually, a lot of people are very excited just to come to Kenya anyway because it's magical Kenya. But the thing is that you're going to get a lot of perspectives from international people who want to talk about project management. And what it's going to do is that it is going to kind of help us to grow the profession in the country. So please just keep that in mind. And then we'll be and if you're willing to, if you'd like to participate, please, let's have a side chat on that. With those many words, I want to thank you, and in case anybody has any questions, anybody who has got a question, thank you, Kochi. Any questions about what I've just said? About PMI, if you're not a member of PMI, please do. Ask Zippy is here, and Victoria is also there. Please feel free to have conversations with them so that at least you can get a bit more information, and then we can go from there. Now, the next thing before we serve, because I know we have got dinner and we wanted to kind of intermingle it, I just wanted to get a few comments and also to give maybe a couple of guest speakers who had invited. If Robin is the president of Women in Real Estate. Robin, if you could come and just give us your perspectives about what's happening in real estate with your organization.
Thank you, Jeanne. I was happy to see up there something called Women in Projects. So I'm actually interested, Jeanne, to find out more about what that is. But Women in Real Estate, in addition to being the president of Women in Real Estate, I'm also the author of Building in Kenya, which is the only book that actually lays out the step-by-step process on how to build in Kenya. And one of the things, Jeanne, is that people, we wrote that book so that we can leave a footprint for people to walk through this project called Building. So people could actually break it down in bite sizes, see how you go about doing it from pre-conceptualization of the development to the marketing, to the finances, to the contracting and tendering, to the marketing and sales. If I already said that one, I think. But what I'm interested in is that if we can see more people seeing this as a project and actually having it as the tools and the skills to do that, I think that it would make such a huge difference in the built environment. But not only there, but I work in an international organization that does for housing, and the ability to see the whole picture as an elephant, if you will, but then to be able to see, where do I grab this? Do I grab the tail? Do I grab the ear? Do I grab the stomach of this project? And to actually get what we need to get done. When we think about the number of affordable housing projects that are coming on board, that the president is saying that we're gonna do, it's going to need some skill and some tact of some project management to take that from conceptualization to delivery. And so, Jeanne, this is why I'm actually extremely excited about PMI and bringing it out so that we can all be skilled together, upskilling together. Because I'm hoping that on that value chain of the affordable housing, we all have an opportunity there. And I'm hoping that when I meet each and every one of you at the different aspects of it, we can be speaking some kind of semblance of language about how to get this project done together. So Jeanne, thank you so much and congratulations. I look forward to working with you further. Thank you.
Great, excellent, excellent. Thank you, Robin, thank you. How many people are in WIRE? How many members do you have?
We probably have about, we have about 500 members of WIRE.
Okay.
Yeah, about 500 members.
Wow, okay, great. The other person I'd like to invite is David Gaido. David Gaido is he's QS David Gaido. He's the chair of the National Construction Authority of Kenya. And because we are talking about real, built environment, and in fact, I know there's a lot of attention that has gone into maybe the construction industry of late. Maybe David, you can come and talk to us a little bit about what you've seen as the regulator, because he's the regulator. Maybe you can come and just share with us some insights from an NCA perspective about what's happening in the built environment. Karibu.
Good evening once again. As you heard, my name is Gaido, QS. It's not mine.
Can you please identify whose car is this? Some problem here? Not our room?
So my background is QS. I've also been doing PM for the last 20 years, mainly in construction. And I joined the NCA in 2018 and became chairman in 2020. So I've been there for almost 3 years. So this is my first event for PMI, PMI Kenya. I was a member of PMI Global for a few years, and many other organizations. Maybe before I go into NCA, I can talk about membership of organizations. At one time, I was a member of 5 of them. I was a member of AAK, IQSK, Institute of Construction Project Managers, Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, PMI. So you look at your emails, sometimes you get lost. Say, me subs alone. I almost joined Wire, but then it's for ladies only. Maybe we, but I support Wire. Yes, our company supports Wire, and one of our directors is Patience. You know Patience. Yeah, we also support Wire as NCA. So I did my mathematics. I was unable to go on with the PMI Global. I was unable to go on with arbitration because you cannot be everything. So for the younger people, join your primary profession. If you are an architect or QS, you join your IQSK or AK, and then you join PMI. And then you have a focus. That's what I did. When I got focused, I focused on IQSK, and I was a chairman for a few years. Then I was president of the Africa Association of QS. So I have a lot of experience in what Jeanne is saying here, and thank you for the invite, about organizing Pan-African conferences. And I can assure you they love Kenya so much. They'll come in big numbers, especially where he comes from. I'm sure he'll tell us more about why they love Kenya when he gets to speak. So at NCA, our core business is to improve quality of construction in Kenya, and also to regulate the industry. So we register contractors in 5 categories: building works, road works, electrical, mechanical, what haven't I mentioned? And one more. There are 5 categories. And we also classify them into class 1 to 8. Those who are international are only in class 1, the big ones. The Chinese you see and the others. We also register construction workers and also site supervisors. Those people who are in charge of the people who are in charge of projects, those who are always on the ground. Engineers, architects come and go, but supervisors are full-time as long as it goes on. So we also do research. We have published over 20 researches, very relevant to what we do, working from home, why buildings are collapsing, so many. And if you check our website, you will see there are so many researches. So in terms of collaboration, who do we collaborate with, and why don't we collaborate with PMI Kenya? We collaborate with AAK, and one of our board members is AK. We collaborate with IQSK, And one of our board members, who is myself, is from IQSK. Engineers Institute of Kenya, we have a board slot for them too. And then government organization and contractors organizations. You may have heard of CABSEC, Kenya Association of Building and Civil Engineering Contractors. Another association for the smaller contractors is called Master Builders. And also the big ones is called the Raseka Road Contractors. All of them have a slot in the board. So maybe why PMI Kenya doesn't have a slot in the board is you have not maybe elevated yourself, but now numbers are growing and everyone is going to recognize you. And the other bit I want to say is about PM organizations in Kenya. I think there are 3. So we have PMI, we have the ICPMK, Institute of Construction Project Managers. And actually there are 4. There's one for, I think, for construction managers, and also AAK has a chapter of PM. So because of the big numbers, we do not strengthen PM, and Jeanne has outlined how PM is so important to us. But we are a bit disintegrated. And I think that's how the QS is, because we can benchmark with those who have been there. Realized that maybe they were not getting full value at AAK and came together to form IQSK, which is a very strong organization at the moment. So I'm hoping PM bodies also, maybe led by yourselves or whoever you agree to be your leader, will come together and form a strong organization of PM. And I've been urging them. The one I belong to, I also belong to a PM organization, ICPMK. But we are just there by name, yeah? If the 50 or 100 of us were here, we could have been, say, 200, or we could make now 1,000. That's the vision I would have for PM, or the vision I would want to ask Jeanne to elevate and try to bring PM as associations together. Is that enough? Is my time up? Let me talk about Excellence Awards at NCA. We also do have Excellence Awards. There are also various categories. Women Contractor of the Year, Fundi of the Year, and Contractor of the Year. It's happening on 2nd of December, just in a few weeks' time. And entries were closing end of October. And the judges are also from within the professions. And again, PMI Kenya is not part of the judges. So we must make sure next year PMI is one of the judges. Jeanne is so experienced in these areas. She should be part of the judges and all the other experienced board members I have seen. What I've seen with the PMI Kenya is you are not construction focused. That's why you are able to attract all the PMs in various. I've had someone from insurance, IT, and all that. Maybe PMI Kenya is different, and maybe that's why you are not able to gel very well with the others, which are construction oriented. So I wish you well as you grow. If you want to know much more than I've said about NCA, please visit our website. Our social media is also very active. If you open today, you just say Facebook NCA, you'll see where we were yesterday, where we were the day before. We are somewhere every day. We haven't succeeded the way we would want to, but we are getting somewhere. We had a collapse this morning. You may have seen a building collapse in Tasia. If you look at the report we get, it's been suspended twice, thrice. We have a court case with them. They wait for this hour to do another floor at 5 upwards. I mean, NCA cannot be there at 5 up to 8 a.m. the following day. So I think is our mentality as Kenyans. We don't want to pay fees. So you are using people who are not qualified. So they can't get registration from county or from NCA. So the only option is to build from 5 to 6 a.m. and on Sundays. So as NCA, we are comforted because we've been there. We have asked them to stop, regularize. And it's 6 floors. So who is this guy wasting millions on millions? He can't pay 2-3 millions for fees and get a stable building. So he has lost, say, 40 million or 50 million Kenya shillings. But it's so common, and we don't seem to learn. That's our biggest worry, actually. We lack capacity to do mindset. I think we are so technical in NCA. But what now Kenya requires is somebody to change our mindset, that you prepare for your investment. Don't lose your investment. We have cumulatively for 2021, we've lost about 1 billion shillings in collapsed buildings. All of them are 8-7 floors, but they come down tumbling. Yeah? And most, they have the same characteristics. They've been stopped by county, stopped by ourselves, but they build at odd hours. The guy in charge is a foreman, either an experienced foreman or a diploma student, graduate. So I can tell you much more about NCA until morning, but I think that's a good summary of, we are not there to look at the collapse. It's just below 1% which collapses. 99 point something, like this one where we are, they had major renovations here. You cannot see, there are no issues here. Yeah? So it's just a section of Nairobi City, a big section of Kiambu and Kajiado. 80% of collapses are in that area. And you know mostly who lives there, so I'm not saying anything more than that. But those are the people who are kichwagumu. They don't want to spend money on fees. But don't quote me, but that's how it is. Yeah? So let's help each other. Collaboration at all levels, all professional associations. We sing the same language. Even in insurance, in IT, there are compliances required by government. Let's work together to have compliant projects of whichever nature. I know construction is the most affected, but together we can move forward. Thank you so much.
What Kiosgeido has said, that there are those people that want to take shortcuts. And I was just commenting on one of our posts by Nation of the collapsed building in Tasia, that that is the price for shortcuts. There are those developers that want to take shortcuts in the construction. There are those that do not want to appreciate professionals. They think that they can just be able to get a draftsman, then go to an architect, they stamp, and then they get the approvals. And I think that is an error that needs to be corrected in the construction industry. Professionalism in the construction industry. And so if you're able to enforce these, and as you say that you want to entrench project management in the construction industry, it will be a good thing. I like what, I'm construction, so I know I'm PMP certified, and but I'm also a member of SCMK, and I like what we've been doing in SCMK, trying to also just entrench that professionalism. And that's why I'm so excited about the construction professional, the certification by PMI, because we can be able to, our members can be able to, get more and be, be trained. I will be sincere. I haven't been able to apply much of PMP knowledge in the construction. Just the same challenge that you're having trying to apply Agile in the construction. So if you can be able to have this profession, the PMI-CP, if it can be able to be entrenched more in the construction, it'll be a good thing for us. So we have a lot to do, and I believe the other consultants in the built environment, the engineers, the architects that are in this meeting, they'll appreciate that we have so many professionals in the industry, but there is the developers. Most of them do not appreciate the role of project consultants, and that's why sometimes, much as the buildings that are there that are collapsing are 1%, there's still a lot of unprofessionalism in the construction industry, and I believe and I pray that the government could return the muscles to NCA for enforcement, because that is why when they scrapped the fees, I'm not. Many people are just trying to escape that role of professionalism. So it is an effort that we need to pull together from all sides, from PMI, from the other associations, AAK, ASCMK, IQSK. If we can be able to pull our efforts together, it will be a good thing. I don't know how far we went with the Built Environment Coalition. It's something that would have tried to pull us together, but I think we need to. It's something that we need to really entrench professionalism in the construction industry. Thanks.
QSK, though, is there
The levy? If we had more muscle, we could be maybe in 47 countries. We are in 14. We don't have resources to be everywhere. So the guy who covers Lamu is based in Mombasa. So you can see, you can do foundation before his cycle visit comes there. However, we have made an appeal to the new government to bring back the levy in a more friendly way. The other thing I forgot to mention is in the PM cycle, the stage of planning. That's where we go wrong, especially the professionals, the architects especially. Sorry to pinpoint the architects. Because the owner will ask you, how long do you think the design stage will take? Up to approval by the county government. What do you say? Where is the architect? That's all. Yeah. So 3 to 4 months, and then it will not be possible. So then he will advise the guy, you can kick off your construction as we sort out the NCA and the others. That's very common. I'm sure most of you have heard of this. And then the mess will begin from there. Thank you.
Ephraim, I'm shocked that you say that you haven't been able to apply PM.
What I've noticed, the role of a project manager, which is growing. I think that the thing is that a lot of project owners, sponsors in construction also have not understood that role. So they get an architect, and maybe they get a civil engineer and a QS, and they think that the team is complete. But as QS Gaido has just mentioned, who is going to own the timelines? Who is running that project plan? Who's checking on everyone and the stakeholder management and all that comes in with project management? So the one thing that I've noticed about projects that are run in construction with project management is that they tend to be more successful. They tend to bring out benefits better. And the coordination normally leads to actually the client saving money. At times they may have thought that by not employing an extra consultant, they'll save money. But that is when now the problems start, because a project manager's role, and I think we'll all agree, comes in also with governance and managing that entire process. So that normally brings in control, which helps in the delivery. So it's something, it's a role that has actually grown very well in construction. Thank you.
I'd love to applaud the efforts by PMI to instill the project management skills in the construction industry. So as a young professional, I really look forward to learning more about the certification, and such forums are really great for young guys like me and ladies who are looking forward to network, to build a skill set that is really a skill set that you can put on the table and build something out of it. So I really applaud the efforts by PMI. Thank you.
There's somebody else on that side, Kote? This table? Maybe we get a lady who can see something.
Project management is important because I'm seeing how it can be so chaotic if that's not something that's really like dwelt on. So I'm looking forward to learning more, just being in here, also interacting with people, and yeah.
What is the interest of the young people in project management? Is it because
I interact with a lot of the engineering projects, and yet my background is as an architect, but my input is more of a project manager. And so we didn't get a lot of that training previously on just how to manage projects that go beyond the design. So I think mine is a personal interest in that field.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want now the holistic kind of view, so
Yes.
that when you do the design, then at least you can also understand how it's going to be executed.
But also on a bigger scale
On-
of
mhm.
project management in construction.
Okay. Okay. She has a. You say that she got.
Good evening again. So in addition to what I do with women in real estate, I'm also in the NGO sector. And we definitely, our work is programs left, right, and center. One of the things I have observed, even as we continue to execute different projects, is just that idea of repetition. This project comes, we say one thing, next project comes, we are repeating the same thing. So that sort of framework is missing, where we need to know from the very beginning, this is what the project's going to look like, and this is how we can execute it fully and successfully. So I think this is a great addition to our work, because we work in the housing sector as well. So we are majorly based within construction. And it really just helps the conversations be a lot smoother, the meetings be a lot shorter, and the programs be a lot more effective. Thank you.
So I'm a third year civil engineering student at the University of Nairobi. And every time when I'm asked, so I have to start thinking about my post-grad right now, because this country, you have to be ready very early. So I've been told by my elders, many of them, that the best thing for me to do would be project management. And they don't really expand from there. They just say, this, after you finish, the best thing for you to do is project management, and then leave it at that. So I'm very happy to have this opportunity. And thank you, Jeanne, and the rest of PMI for providing this opportunity for people like me at this age and at this point in my career to see what project management is about and what opportunities that it offers for me. Thank you.
My name is Berela Kumu. I'm the Treasurer Association of Construction Managers of Kenya. First of all, you mentioned an MOU with Rotary. I'm a member of Rotary, and I'd be really interested to know what that's all about. In terms of my experiences in construction, based on your bachelor's, there's quite a lot of a gap in terms of what is in the industry and what is outside. And I believe SMK is trying to come in to bridge the gap by having student competitions. And in my opinion, would be collaborations with PMI would be able to help, because I've gone through the CAPM and it focuses on the 10 areas of project management, which is missing in terms of the curriculum. Because in the curriculum, we mainly focus on costs, quality, and time. But when you come outside here, you realize as the project manager, you are the leader. You need to lead the team. You need to look at the risks And I feel there's that big gap, but if we're able to have collaborations, we're able to move forward. Just as Gaither said, as project managers, we play a critical role, but we don't sit on the board. How will our voice be heard? Because we are integrated. Everyone is speaking the same message, but in a different way. But if we're able to come together and have one voice, I believe we'll be able to even put the message forward to clients that you need a project management first. You don't have to get an architect. And then once there are problems is when you realize, I need a project manager. Because I know from experiences, you find project managers are brought into the project after the architect has come in. The architect has already designed, and then is when they realize we need a PM. Then when you come back and looking at the design, you realize that value engineering was not done, you're already on site. So you're like saving a situation as opposed to being there from the beginning. So I really think that collaboration will really, really help push the message of project management out there. And I'm really excited to learn more about the construction professional built environment projects, the certification, to know what is it about. And I'd be open to also having collaborations also with the CMK to bring our members and get the certification. Thank you.
For me, what I have come to learn is that I actually enjoy working on projects. I enjoy bringing people together. My normal or my day looks, what my day entails is generally managing teams, the site teams, the clients, the fabrication teams, every person in that team. And I realized, you know what, I actually like project management. So from an experience in a project I had last year, I did a project that was really brutal on me. Those of you in the construction industry know what it was like, what that's like. It was really brutal because I think I was timid, and then there were so many jargons being thrown around by the consultants, and somewhere in there I got lost. So I decided, you know what, I need to learn. So I found the PMP and I learned, and I realized, unlike Anthony, it actually applies for me every single day. So now when I have, one of the things that really was a key factor is these issues of scope changes. You know those things where the client just adds things, and those things were a major challenge for me. I didn't know what to say to clients about such issues. So when I did the PMP, I realized, you know what, this is actually called a scope change, and you're not allowed to do that without factoring the consequences. So it made me bolder. It made me understand. When I sit in a meeting with consultants, I understand what we're talking about, and it enables me now to deliver the project better. I'm able to look at the risks that I'm facing and be blunt about it to the client and say, you know what, if you want this done, it's possible, but this is the repercussion. So that is what PMP has meant for me. And so when I heard about the CP, I was definitely more interested because that is my area, construction, and I would definitely love to hear more about it. Thank you.
Since you're BSc graduate engineer, you'll mostly not do work that is hands-on. You'll be mostly a supervisor. So it's quite interesting to learn how to supervise a certain project, which is in relation to PMI. So I'm looking forward to learning a lot more so that when I get into the industry, I'll be able to handle such situations. Thank you.
So you're saying that by the time you're graduating, at least you can actually also get the certification? Yeah. Okay.
Good evening. I'm a fourth-year student, civil engineering, and actually, you know, we're having the project management as a unit next semester. So I thought it would be really important for me to gather something from this meeting, and yeah, I'm happy that I'll interact with some of you and you know, gain some knowledge.
All right. Excellent.
Good evening. I will talk from the perspective of interior architecture and interior design. I'm a practicing interior design and an interior architect, and within our field, sometimes with clients they don't see the essence of project management in that area, but with time I've come to be able to communicate the importance of having a project manager even in interior design. With reference to the quality of services you want to deliver. We don't just paint walls and give cushions. We also deal with structural elements where we also collaborate with architects, we also collaborate with construction project managers. So one thing that I try to do within my company is that when it comes to the engagement with clients who are building their homes, have a project manager in place so that you can be able to track your budget analysis, so that you can be able to track how your materials are being used. Is there a lot of wastage? How can you reduce that wastage? In terms of feasibility analysis, is the home you want to build within the budget you're actually working with? And also, time management is also important, because you'll get to a point where you'll find you want your project to end at a certain time, but the number of fundis you have on site won't be able to deliver. So you find a situation whereby the project has to go through a crash element where you're adding workers, but the finances are not there to be able to accommodate that. So I actually studied project management on a degree level, and it has actually helped me be able to implement the same within the built industry, so that we can collaborate from even before the architect starts designing. The client can actually put together a team that entails a project manager, so that when it comes to the deliverable, we have sustainable homes, not homes that are collapsing or complexes that are actually coming down. Thank you.
Thank you. From an interior designer perspective, yeah. Anybody else? One more before we do dinner. Anybody else here?
I work in a sector that is, it gives the blood in your building. I'm a mechanical engineer. We need to give you water, we need to have waste removed from your house, but it is actually an overlooked sector. Most of the time, like one of us said here, you get your architect, you get your civil engineer, and you think you're done. Then plumbing starts being an issue. So how do we integrate all these services? How do we bring a project to fruition, and your services will serve you for the lifetime of that building? So that is lacking in Kenya. There's a big problem. Our plumbers, we don't have plumbers in Kenya, that I can tell you for a fact. Most of them are on the job training, but currently we have some people who are working with us. The Swiss Foundation has started a program in Kenya for training plumbers, and it's taken off this week. So we hope that that will be building up into a better future in Kenya. Thank you very much.